Okay, what's up, guys? So, with the drop of the new LRs for worldwide, I wanted to update the 55% LR tier list. There are some new things now to the tier list. One being, of course, I just said the new LRs that we got, and then the other part being the new hard event, which does change the meta just slightly, with these two first fights of Goku Black and Cell being really short. So because of that, some units might move up, some might move down. Omega Shenron is still the hardest event on JP. Global, I think it's arguable. You could probably say Goku Black is a harder fight on Global right now, because Sin is really hard, but I mean the damage that Goku Black is just doing so fast right in the beginning. I mean, I would maybe say that Goku Black is probably the hardest fight on Global, where Omega Shenron is the hardest fight on JP. So because of that, I mean, you could say that Goku Black is like being good on Goku Black makes you bet like the best. You're really good at the best fight in the game. Eventually that will matter because they announced that they're going to catch up both versions. They're going to be on the, or they're going to catch up Global. Both versions will have the same event. So eventually that won't matter. But for right now, it does. So let's get into it. I did make a couple changes to the previous list that I have. You'd seen the previous list. The new event does change, I think, one notable placing, and so we will just move straight into that. At number 10, I do have this Goku, the 8th anniversary Part 2 LR. He is still really damn good. Now, and he's also good with my first change. So originally on the previous list, I had, this wasn't their placement, but I had Vegeta and Trunks over them. And now I'd actually put him over Vegeta and Trunks. Main reason being that with this new hard content, Vegeta and Trunks can struggle a little bit, where because like both Goku and Vegeta and Trunks have a very similar kind of performance. The only difference in why I edged out Vegeta and Trunks before is they won't lose guard in slot 1, of course, after the 7 turns where Goku will lose guard. So my argument was that for like Omega Shenron, you will end up like losing that guard on a 55% team because you go slower. You will end up losing your guard, and Vegeta and Trunks will be good where that Goku then now if he gets supered, he's dead. Or at least Vegeta and Trunks are going to be holding in there. Now with this new content, Goku Black does about the same damage to both. He will hit both insanely hard, no matter what, and it's a quick fight. I also think that, at least for 55% when I'm using them, Goku seems to be doing just a little bit better defensively in the beginning. In a long sense, Vegeta and Trunks will be better defensively than Goku, but Goku seems to build up a little quicker because he has higher stats, and or at least the passive buffs are a little higher, and that turn 5, that 5th hit, also gives him a really big buff. So I also find that Goku just tanks a little bit better in the beginning. In the very beginning of the fight, those first 5-7 turns, Goku will be doing better, but Vegeta and Trunks will catch up. The only reason now that I'd say they're below him is that the new hardest content for Global is very short. I mean, it's not like, even for 55% teams, it's not the longest content. Like I run my full 55% rotations teams on that on those fights, and I mean, like, I'll finish the fight by like turn 6, turn 7 the latest, and by then Goku he won't run out of guard anymore. So because of that, I am going to edge out Goku. I think in the Omega Shenron event, I would probably say Vegeta and Trunks are just slightly better, but that Goku is pretty damn good. So sorry, I talked about this one for a long time because it's kind of the only notable change that I did make. I'll kind of go through these other ones a little quicker, especially the ones that we've already talked about. Next, I have the 8th anniversary Vegeta and Goku. I got them right here. The new content hurts them, no doubt. Like, you're not, like, it's just, it goes by so quickly that you will be using, you could get into the Spirit Bomb form for sure, because like I said, you will be going a little slower, but like, you're not dropping the Spirit Bomb, at least I don't think. Like, you could, but if you're gonna drop it, like, usually Goku Black is like almost dead. Like, he's already almost dead. You would just do it as a finisher, you know? So this does hurt them, especially because their one weakness is that in the beginning of the fight, they just aren't that strong, especially at 55%. I would say about turn 5 is when they're finally starting to do, like, you know, decent defensive wise at 55%. Turn 5 is really, and by turn 5 you're on Rose, and they just didn't get helped. They didn't get helped out that much, really. I would say that the new events are hurting them currently, but they're still pretty damn good. That form is damn good. The Goku Spirit Bomb Vegeta, really good. They like if you can get this, you're fine. Like this tank, he's so tanky. It's not even. It's barely. Like you could easily get them turn 3, right? It's a little harder at 55% because you have to get a hidden potential system additional, which isn't the hardest thing. You have 5 in the hidden potential because they're physical, giving you a 10% chance on 3 supers, right? Assuming you get the 70% at 24 key. Sorry for any background noise, by the way. You know, you have a 10% chance 3 times, right? So it's not the hardest, but it is a little bit more difficult. Okay, next I have Strength Gogeta. Strength Gogeta, and I guess I might as well just say the next one too, which is going to be Tech Vegito. Oh, that's my old list. I was going to check up on it, and I can even show you guys here. I have, see, Vegeta and Trunks right above this Goku right here. So that's the one change I made. And then also, you know, these 2 dropped off. So I have Tech Vegito and Gogeta. I like to keep them separate. At 55%, I feel like it's even more noticeable. I think, yes, they are very similar units. They're doing pretty much the same exact thing. I do not really argue with that, other than Vegito is going to be doing more supers and Gogeta is going to be doing crits and you know, being effective against all types. Other than that, I mean, it's just like being effective against all types and all that damage is great. He can out damage Vegito, but at 55%, those additional supers, which give him defense every single time, is way more consistent than Gogeta's. Just matters a lot in a defensive sense. Defense at 55% is incredibly important. It's so necessary at 55%. And Gogeta, if he's not giving you those additionals, you're really gonna feel that damage that he's gonna take. There's been plenty of times I've been using both of them, and Vegito will give me like 4 additionals, and then Gogeta might just do 1 or 2 super attacks, and then where Vegeta will take double digits, Gogeta's taking 50, 60, 70, 80k, right? It's just, you got to get lucky with him. If you're super lucky, then they're on the same level, and Gogeta would be, theoretically, at best luck, Gogeta's better than Vegito, but that's just not usually what's going to happen. So I like to separate them just for that reason, but I do recognize that they're pretty damn close. Next, I have the other 8th anniversary, Vegeta and Goku, which is crazy. They're at 6 nowadays. That is insane to me that they're not in the top 5 at the 55% list, in my opinion, of course. They're really good. They're definitely helped out a lot by Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So on Global, they're a little worse than they are on JP. But, I mean, these units just crazy. I don't even have really arguments, right? Like, that's the crazy part is, like, the top 6, there's not, like, big arguments. Although, let's be honest, there's going to be one where there's going to be some arguments. But top 6 is pretty strong. Top 6 are pretty damn strong units. And this guy really doesn't have a lot of arguments. The only thing is the newer fights do kind of hurt him. Yeah, especially at 55%, because until you're at 50% damage, until you get your 5 super attacks with him, you will struggle to fully tank like Goku Black or Cell. And at 55%, I find it really rare that I'm getting that, not like super rare, but, you know, decently rare for me to get that 4th super attack. So usually you're just getting 30% on one turn, which is fine, but it can be challenging. Because, you know, strength gives you a free crit, so the only additional you're getting is from skill orbs. Skill orbs are the only thing you can do for it. And I usually don't even count skill orbs on these tier lists, right? Because I like to give them all sort of an even playing field. And skill orbs are, any unit can have great skill orbs. This guy could have great skill orbs, this one could have terrible skill orbs, but like it wouldn't be a fair comparison then with that. So I like to take them away. And with that, this guy has no additional, then you're not even getting the 4th one. But this guy's crazy. Just takes a little bit to build up, same as the other ones, I think, but at least this guy can be fully built up by turn 3. His 2nd rotation on, he will be fully built up after 2 supers. The revive is crazy. Everything about this guy is really damn good, so I actually don't really have too many complaints about him. I talked about him a lot in the last tier list, I think. you know, people know how good he is. Next, I have these guys. Very controversial unit right now. It's and after using them for a while, I will say my stance on them is that they aren't as bad, I think, as the current reaction to them is. I think the massive disappointment in having Blue Vegito, you know, a really fan favorite character, just having flaws in their kit. And it's not even Vegito, it's the Goku and Vegeta here. This is the flawed character. This character is pretty damn good. It's these guys. It's the flaws that these guys have, which really, I think, creates a lot of disappointment in the community. And because of that disappointment, it's sort of like this initial backlash is going to be very strong. A lot of people are, you know, I've seen so many people, you know, oh, he's not even top 10, he's not top 5. I think those are a little bit ridiculous. I think he's top 5. I don't think he's top 3 or top 4, clearly, but he is at least top 5. They are a really good unit. It's this form. Now, here's the thing. These guys are not even the worst, right? I'm not even going to talk about their damage. At the end of the day, the damage is not really that important. It sucks that, you know, like a new unit that just came out is doing less damage than like units who are 2 years old and shit. Like I get that. That sucks. I know that's not nice to see, but at the end of the day, it's how good can they defend, especially for 55%. And when I'm using them at 55%, they are great for the first 2 turns, right? Of course, 4 turns of guard, they're great. Dodging, guarding. If they get tagged, if they don't dodge it, then they're going to tank it decently well. So because of that, they're not like the worst. And the other reason I also have them maybe a little bit higher is out of 55%, I find that I'm pretty much always in the threshold to transform. Now, I know that's not going to be everyone's experience, and I know that I use them more and more, right? As I'm using them, I will probably have, I've no doubt, I'm going to have a time where I'm at full health, god damn it. You know what I mean? It's just, at 55%, I take more damage, right? My units are not even, like some of my units can't even take a normal full on, right? Vegito here, if I have him on the team, slot 3, he doesn't dodge, he gets hit. Even after super, he'll take like 100k from hardcore bosses, right? My units will just get hit more, right? At 55%. Units will just get hit harder at 55%. That's just a fact. And so for me, I find it's just a little easier to transform. And when you're in Vegito, if I was just ranking Vegito, I would say probably top 2. Not even probably. He's top 2. Vegito is top 2. He's top 1. Probably best character in the game. Second best. He's defensive as hell. Super defensive. Great support with this 50% defense to all allies. He's a slot 1 unit, so everyone is getting that. But it's just this character holds him back so much. It's going to hold him from being number 1 to being number 5. Sad. There's just a couple changes. I'm not going to go to the debate on them has been so the discourse on them has been so much. I don't need to add to it. Everyone already knows this unit, but I will settle with them at 5. And I already spoiled it, but next I got Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And the reason I'm putting him above is honestly these two are very damn similar. Goku doesn't really have as many flaws as Goku and Vegeta do. I think this Goku is better than Goku and Vegeta, but I also then think Vegeta is better than Goku's full power Goku, right? But full power Goku is easier to get than Vegeta. Full power Goku, all you need is those hits. You need the, where is it at? 5 hits. All you need is 5 hits, which is way easier than turn 5 under 70. Even though I just sat here and said I get under 70 turn 5 pretty consistently, I'm not going to lie and say that it's more consistent than this. This is way more consistent than that. And you get the Oob transformation, the Oob standby, which is just untouchable as well. Like they're very similar. These two are similar in the fact that how you're using them in a slot 1. Goku and Vegeta are worse, but Vegito's better than Goku. Like that's not even a question. So they kind of balance each other out in the sense that they're almost on the same. They're like on a very similar level because Goku Vegeta not that good. Vegito insane, and then Goku is more evenly leveled out, right? Better than Goku and Vegeta. Full power Goku's just worse, a little worse than Vegito. So because of that, I'm gonna have Goku just mainly because the transformation changed. The transformation is just so much easier to get. If this guy's just like, it's like they should have just had like turn 5 turn 5 they transform automatically. That would have just been so much better, but you know, we can't change the past. So next I have Orange Piccolo, which is insane, man. This guy not being, one day this guy not being in the top 5 is gonna blow my fucking mind. Like, I have no clue. Like, him not being in top 5 will be insane. Orange Piccolo, I'm not gonna spend that much time on him. This guy's insane. Everyone already knows. Great tank, great slot 1, great support unit, covers your whole rotation, covers everything. This guy, fucking insane. Like, honestly, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't need to go into deep detail about this guy. Insane. Next I have Fusion Zamasu. Now, Fusion Zamasu feels like Extreme's Orange Piccolo to me. He feels like Extreme Class Orange Piccolo because just like Orange Piccolo, he's doing a lot of similar things. The only difference is he doesn't have giant form. But he's going to, for the first 2 turns, his first two rotations, he's going to easily hold down slot 1, no question. 80% damage reduction, 60% damage reduction. Even at 55%, this guy is holding down slot 1. I found it like, what was that? I went to Goku Black fight. I was supered before he even supered. He only did about 120,000 in the air. So, and you know, I remember I didn't even have big bad bosses activated for that. So like, this guy is insane. Like, he will tank anything for those first 2 rotations that he's on. His only downside is that once you get to the 3rd rotation, you're a little iffy at that point. 40% is not bad at all. Certain bosses, you could put him in slot 1 at 55%, but for like hard bosses, type neutral, type disadvantage especially, you gotta put him in slot 2. But even then, in slot 2, he's fine. I think in slot 2, he'll tank pretty damn well at 40% damage. Like, this guy is crazy good. Like, he is crazy good. And then just like Orange Piccolo, he has a way to cover and support his allies on the team. That being his Infinite Zamasu form. This shit is insane. You go into this, 5 free turns, he will be in slot 1, no problem. He doesn't even have to take damage because he literally can't take damage. And then he's over here supporting 60% defense, giving all allies the key. This guy's crazy. Like, this guy is really fucking good. Like, this has saved me so many times in these fights that I've been doing. If you can get this out, same restriction as Vegito, which sucks, but if you can get him out, like, you have probably won because you have no worries. So in my opinion, he feels like an Extreme Class Orange Piccolo because of that. Like, these two are so damn similar in my eyes, right? Both of them holding down slot 1 easily, both of them being great in slot 2 and 3, both of them being able to cover the asses of their allies. Like, it's great. And then number 1, I still do have Bulma at 1. She is still really good. I can see this is a super early tier list, and so the more and more I use these characters, I can see myself going here. But Bulma is just really damn good. I like Bulma a lot. She's still really good for the team she's on, and she only got better because now Vegeta and Trunks, Vegito, they make it so now you can use her on their team because that's super class. 150, even at 150, 55%, she's still pretty damn good. It's just how tanky and supportive she is. It's just why I think but I will say this, if you could reliably get Infinite Zamasu turn 5 every time, if you are getting lucky to get Infinite Zamasu turn 5 every time, and like I said, for 55%, I find it's easier to get Infinite Zamasu. I find it's easier to do the restriction. Then honestly, he's number 1 because no matter how tanky Bulma is, right, she will eventually kind of fall off at 55% by around turn 7, past turn 7. Of course, there is a thing with her where you can then use her active and you can kind of push her defense all the way to turn 9, turn 10, turn 11. But the same thing can be said for Zamasu. If you get that first 2 rotations, you're on turn 5 at that point, then you rock his Infinite Zamasu, you'll go to turn 10, 11 before that goes away. You know what I'm saying? So they're very similar in that sense, but where hers is free, your Zamasu's isn't. You have to hope you get that condition. So that is the only reason. If you can get Infinite Zamasu every time, like, he is number 1 easily. Like, this guy is crazy. I'm glad he's so good. Insane villain unit. Amazing villain unit. I'm so happy with what they did with him. Vegito's got some flaws. I think he's not as bad as people say he is, personally. I think people are just super disappointed. I completely see that. I think everyone is really disappointed with how he is. That is not exactly what you wanted to see in someone as insane as Vegito. But I think once time goes on, people will say, okay, like right now, I think they're just really overreacting, but then they'll kind of come back, right? He's not number 1. He's not number 2. He's not number 3. He's not as good as these guys. Vegito is as good as these guys, but these guys are not as good as the top 4. And that's what holds him back. If it was an easy transformation, if it was like a turn 4 easily, I'd put him like here, you know, because it's like, well, yeah, these guys suck, but they're good for the first 2 turns, and that's all you'll see them for. That's not the case, sadly. So that'll be my 55% tier list for all the LRs. I think it's actually getting pretty similar to 100% now at this point. I feel like this is what 100% would look like. Personally, these units are just getting so good now that like there's not too much of a difference at a 55%. At least I don't think so. So I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys have a great one. I will see you guys in a next video. Peace out.